Part 2, Mastering Active Listening for Influential Communication. In this pivotal installment of our transformative journey, we immerse ourselves in the profound realm of active listening, a skill that forms the bedrock of influential communication. Prepare to unravel the art of truly connecting with others and understanding their unique perspective. The pillars of active listening mastery. For the first pillar of the active listening mastery, we have the dance of nonverbal signals. Dive into the unspoken language of gestures, eye contact, and body language to convey your attentive presence. Recognize the potent impact of nonverbal cues in fostering connection. Now, what would be an example of this? Would be imagine leaning slightly forward, maintaining eye contact, and nodding in acknowledgement as your friend shares a personal story. Your nonverbal cue communicates openness and interest. So I always say that it is important when having an honest and genuine conversation to have eye contact at all times. Not extensively, of course, a very natural and effortless behavior of eye contact, because it is known by many people that read body language and lie detectors and stuff like that, that when a person can't look at you directly in your eyes when speaking is because most likely they're hiding something, or they're lying about something, or they fear being vulnerable to some degree, right? And that takes away from a genuine and honest connection or conversation. So these are very subtle things that you can look at when having conversations with certain individuals and see where you place them in accordance to your interactions with them, where you have to ask yourself, is this someone I feel comfortable with? Is this someone I trust? Is this someone that is displaying the body language that makes me feel comfortable and able to be vulnerable and open with them, right? So it is those non-verbal signals sometimes that allow you to become aware of where people stand with you and in your life based on those subtle non-verbal signals. The second pillar would be channeling empathy through validation. Cultivate the empathetic skill of validating emotions shared by the speaker. Acknowledge their feelings to establish a profound connection. Now, an example of this would be to respond with, "It sounds like you had a challenging day. I can understand why you'd feel that way." This validates the speaker's emotions, fostering a deeper connection, because we are giving them the opportunity to not only share their feelings with you, but also finding the resonance to empathize with them in the understanding, so that we can reason for the way that they feel in having a challenging day, and maybe it affecting or influencing their behavior or reactions and so on, based on the story, of course. For the next one, we have probing for deeper understanding. Master the art of asking thoughtful and clarifying questions. Dive beneath the surface to grasp the intricacies of the speaker's thoughts and emotions. Now, the example of this would be to ask open-ended questions like, "Can you share more about what led you to that decision?" This encourages the speaker to dive into the complexity of their thoughts and feelings. So, I don't know about you, but have you ever been in any conversation where you notice that by sometimes you asking those questions, you allow the speaker to introspect and self-reflect a lot more deeper than what they would have had they not been asked or contemplated that question. So sometimes we don't necessarily have to give an advice or suggest an option, but sometimes introducing certain elements like questions to the conversation allows and adds value to the conversation, because it allows the speaker to go deeper within themselves to further understand what's going on in their situation or behavior or thoughts or emotions and so on. So it's a conversation that would benefit the speaker to have as you are allowing yourself to probe and get a little deeper so that you can understand, but also by you attempting to understand, you also introduce levels for the speaker to further understand themselves and the situation as well. Bringing us into the next one, creating a safe haven for expression. Foster an environment where individuals feel secure sharing their perspective. Suspend judgment and cultivating an atmosphere of open dialogue. So just like the example I just provided, the example of this would be by eliminating judgment and responding with empathy, we create an environment where our team or our family or our friends or our lover or our partners or our children feel safe sharing their ideas, their innovations, their feelings, their emotions, their thoughts, their questions sometimes. Sometimes they just want to have someone to just be a soundboard, right? So that they feel heard of what is going on within them, and that's okay. So when we remove all judgment and criticism, we allow that safe space for individuals. So we turn into the go-to, because we're not listening to judge or criticize or give advice. We are listening to allow space for the individual, right? So that it removes and takes away all fears of criticism or judgment altogether. Therefore, them trusting you with that information or the sharing that they are deciding to share with you. Bringing us into the next one, active engagement in present moment. Resist the pull of distractions, anchoring yourself in the now. Showcase your commitment to the conversation by staying fully present. Now, an example of this would be put away any form of distractions like your phone and focus solely on the conversation. Respond with, "I am fully present, please continue," demonstrating your commitment to the interaction, right? Because one thing is certain, and I'm sure we've all been there, where we are talking and there's no response that rebuttals back to us that the person is listening, so we don't feel heard, and we might ask, "Did you hear what I just said?" or "Are you listening to me?" And sometimes they are listening and they might say, "Yeah, you said A, B, and C," and sometimes they're not, and they're like, "Wait, what did you say again?" And then that right there showcases how comfortable you are going forward sharing anything with that individual, or to continue sharing with that individual, because based on certain responses or based on whatever they might be going through as well, we have to be aware that everyone is going through their own thing and having their own stages and courses and dilemmas and life going on. So when we are communicating with individuals, it is also important that we ask for consent and ask if they do have the time or the space or the energy to be in conversation with us or to receive the information that you want to share with them, because you want to also make sure that it is the right time and if they can be fully present in the conversation so they are not distracted because they do have things to do and so on. So you always want to ask, hey, is this the right time? I wanted to talk to you about something. And there you get the consent moving forward if you proceed. And if they say, oh, I can't right now, but if you're available in an hour, we can do that. Just call me back after this time. Because here, communication is key. And by clearing that communication, there's never any misunderstanding or any feelings of feeling neglected and so on. So that's very important. The next pillar we have is the mirror effect. Utilize mirroring techniques to reflect the speaker's emotions. Enhance mutual understanding by aligning your emotional resonance. So an example of this would be if the speaker is expressing excitement, mirror that energy with a genuine smile and positive body language. This aligns your emotional resonance with theirs. So, have you ever been in a situation where you're so excited and you want to share with someone that you care about or someone that you love, and you might not get the response that you were kind of anticipating for or expecting, and it kind of throws your energy off because you feel like, okay, that was not received the way I was expecting. Now I don't feel as excited or have the same anticipation as I did prior. So now it throws everything off. And now instead of being excited for what you're excited for, now you're stuck in the limbo of what's going on with them. Why aren't they as excited? And it could be something that's going on with them. It has nothing to do with you. Remember, how you feel is your responsibility and how others feel is their responsibility. But to meet in the middle and have clear communication about what's going on and any form of awareness that we pick up through the body language and the emotional intelligence that we are learning to develop, here asking slight questions. Hey, are you okay? Oh yeah, I'm fine. I just had a rough day and I'm not in the best mood. It could be something like that, or it could just be that they're not indeed happy for you because deep down they're jealous. There could be multiple reasons as to why a person does not respond with the same excitement, but it has nothing to do with you. And one thing is important here. When you have good and exciting news, it is not to be told with everyone. You have to be very discerning of who you tell anything to, depending on the information and the why behind why you would want to even tell this individual. If they tend to normally receive you with positivity, then obviously it's just a bad day. But if it's something that commonly happens and they never give you your flowers or your congratulations or support you in your endeavors, then there's a common pattern, or they are the common denominator in receiving good news from you and them not acting that way. Then there you have to be discerning and hold back on certain information with that individual, because if it doesn't serve you, it doesn't make you feel good to share certain things with them, then why continue doing it? And sometimes when you become intuitive and you become completely self-aware of the energies around you and the energies within yourself, you will start picking up on what to say, when not to say, when to say and when not to say it. Sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes you will realize that the less you say, the better. And you don't want to say anything ahead of time, and you want to do more than you say. So focus more of your energy in the doing and letting people see the end result rather than being excited and speaking it into existence before it actually comes into existence, because sometimes that can throw off the energies altogether. So that's for another lesson, but for now this is something that I wanted to focus on in terms of mirroring that energy with others in the same way they provide it for you. And for the next one, we have reflective responses for resonance. Master the art of reflective responses to demonstrate comprehension. Deepen connection by echoing and summarizing key points. So an example of this would be summarize key points by saying, it seems like the main challenges are A, B, and C. Did I capture that correctly? This ensures a shared understanding of conversation. So here you are rebuttaling and making sure that there's clarity in what you heard and understood and were able to comprehend based on the information that was shared, so that it is a mutual understanding and clarity throughout the entire conversation, so that there's no misunderstanding or confusion, if any. So that helps with that, but also it allows the individual to know that you are truly listening, and here are the results of that by you breaking it down into full detail, showing interest and showing that you do in fact care about what's going on with them, and you're here to support and help them and being their shoulder to lean on. For number 8, we have the transformative power of silence. Embrace the eloquence of silence as the tool for reflection and a response. Allow pauses to amplify the impact of your attentive presence. So we kind of spoke about this in part 1, but an example of this would be, after a profound statement, allow a thoughtful pause before responding. This silence provides space for reflection and emphasizing the weight of the speaker's words, bringing us into the conclusion. As you embark on this journey of honoring your active listening skills, envision a tapestry of connections weaving through deep understanding and authentic engagement. The profound transformation of your communication awaits as you embrace the art of active listening in all its nuanced splendor. Let the dance of active listening lead you to new heights of influence and connection.